Hello and welcome back to the Novice Lumberjack. So anyways, today I was watching, just before this video, I was watching TazMan-Kenny Fuller, and he's out west somewhere. I'm here in Atlanta, East Coast, and he's out there, I think up in Washington State, something like that. And I like watching his videos. He's got a lot of cool saws, and I don't know. I like watching all these videos, just like you. That's why you're here, right? Anyways, I was just watching him as he was cutting up firewood, and just reveling in how different our country is in all of the different areas. Like, I know you guys down in Australia. If by some chance I got an Australian watching this, I believe you've got gum trees, and they're just freaking hard as a 15-year-old pecker. You know, they're really hard. And, you know, us guys here in the States, we can't exactly, associate anything with that, because all of our woods here, as far as I know, I've heard of Osage orange being hard, like your gum trees down there in Australia. But anyways, my point is you guys out in the West Coast, I love watching you, and this is not a knock, all right, okay? But that Doug fir you're cutting, and you're using for firewood, which that's odd to me. I can understand it. They're not exactly a pine, and they don't have sap like a pine does, from what little I know. But I got a good buddy who is an arborist, and he spent time up in Oregon, and he's like, oh, Doug fir, it's not soft like the pine is down here. And maybe it isn't, you know. Maybe it isn't, but, you know, the only thing I have to go off of is what I see. I look at, you know, saws pulling these big bars through this Doug fir, and I go, it's just got to be soft. And in comparison, it probably is. But anyways, I was watching Taz's video, and he's cutting his firewood, and it's Doug fir, and I'm like, I'm envious. I'm straight up envious. I watch Buckin', of course, Buckin' Billy Ray, and you know, he's splitting cedar and Doug fir, and that's basically all he's got. I mean, there's other stuff, of course, you know, but you know, it makes it look so easy. And to him, he's an experienced hand, you know, and he's got the best of saws and stuff like that, and it is. I don't want to take anything away from these guys. Total respect, you know, but I just want to see him come down here and cut up one of these red oaks and then split it with ease with an axe. You know, because it just don't come that easy down here. You know, the red oaks that I got falling on my property, you know, they'll be 24, 26, 28 inches in, what is that, diameter? If you cut it off, and it's good clean wood, there ain't no branches, nothing like that. No knots, nothing. If you cut a section that's firewood length, that's a pet peeve of mine. People cutting firewood in odd lengths. Anyways, but whatever. The idea that you can just go ahead and split it with an axe, easy peasy, like I see so many people on the West Coast doing, it's just it's a farce. It's silly. You know, what we have here for firewood, because we can't burn our loblolly. It's got too much sap in it. It'll cause fires and things like that, you know. But it doesn't split very easy. You have to let that stuff sit, preferably in good hot weather, so that it cracks up and checks on its own for a few weeks before you go and try and even think about sinking an axe into it. So, but got me thinking about you know, TazMan, and he's just cutting that duck fur, and it's just his saw's going right through it like butter, you know. And I'm like, man, those guys, that's nice, you know. I always tell people, like, if you wanna feel like a real man, split some pine, because boy, it'll just boop, pop open just like that, and you'll be like, yeah. But anyways, it made me think about saws, and if you've got nothing but easy wood to cut through, and junk chainsaws. So I know that was beating around the bush a hell of a lot, and I apologize for that, but you know, I got this at a estate sale for about $15. Just been really curious about the junk Poulans. And I'm not saying all Poulans are junk. You know what I'm talking about probably if you're watching this video. You got Poulan back in the day, and they made some decent saws, right? Maybe you might think the best saws, and okay, that's fine. But then, you know, they got bought up by Electrolux, and Husqvarna and Jonsered became the premier brands, and Poulan just kind of fell by the wayside, and they said, we're going to make nothing but homeowner saws for with these things and stuff. And the Poulan fans are, I can't believe it. I can't believe you'd do that to my precious brand. And I feel your pain. I feel your pain. But part of what this video is about is suck it up, man, because at least your brand still exists. My brand is Jonsered, and they got killed off a year or two ago, something like that, 3 years, I don't know. But they ain't making no more Jonsered saws, and that sucks, man. I can't stand it. Would I prefer to still have Jonsered around in something like this, even if it did mean that it's a junky little saw that ain't worth much of anybody's time? I don't know. It's a hard question to ask. But I tend to look at the good side of things when I can. And if it happened, then I would be glad at least my saws were still around. And now, from what I gather, the Poulan saws are getting a little bit better. They got a 50cc saw or 52cc saw, something like that. They sell at Tractor Supply and stuff. That's actually not all that bad. But I mean, I don't know. I've never used them. But I was curious, so I picked this up, rebuilt the carburetor, put new fuel lines. Of course, the fuel lines, the primer bulb, all that stuff just rots away over time. And you just saw how it ran. It runs really It runs really good. But this is a 2055, which supposedly, it says right back here, 36 cc's. Feels about like 20 cc's. If I put any pressure on it at all, whenever I was cutting that loblolly pine, about the softest wood you can cut, really. And this is a freshly sharpened 3/8 low profile chain, which I think that 3/8 low profile is the worst chain that there is. But it's freshly sharpened, and I was not able to put any kind of pressure at all on it. So my thoughts about Poulan and its junk chainsaws. Well, they're truly junk. But I'm still liking it. I like to pick it up and use it. I like to have it. It does start up. And if you're just a homeowner that just simply needs to trim a few branches every now and then, and you've got a little bit of sense about you, yeah, get one, you know? Because one thing that I will say for sure, my neighbor Tony, he has a Craftsman version of one of these, similar, you know, and he keeps it up. You know, when things go wrong with it, he fixes it. You know, tries to run the gas out whenever he can, I think, anyways. So, you know, if you're only using it every now and then, and you can keep up with it and say, yeah, the fuel lines are rotten, I'm going to replace them. It's not that bad. Not that big of a deal. What is really shocking to me is for a saw that's nearly 100% plastic, nearly, right? It's just all plastic except for the cylinder and the bearings and the bottom, you know, that just the frickin' inner workings of the actual rotating assembly. The rest of that is all plastic. And for that, you would think that it wouldn't have so much vibration. My gosh, it's got vibration like crazy. This vibrates more than any of the old ProMac 1010s that I've had and stuff like that. But anyways, there's that. I also picked it up, and here was the actual reason I got that one. It's because I was at an estate sale, and they had a Wild Thing. Yeah, Wild Thing. So this one right here, it will crank up. I did the same thing I did to the 2055 there, and new fuel lines, rebuilt the carburetor, and it fires up and it runs, but then as soon as it starts to get warm, it develops an air leak. So I've got to dig a little bit further with that, and I will over time, you know, maybe, you know. But this is supposed to be a 42 cc. And I keep saying supposed to be because there is some theory that all of this style of Poulan they were all the same cc's. I don't know. But what little I have ran this one, it does feel the same as the other one, so I don't know. Maybe it's got a little bit more oomph, I don't know, but I don't want to run it much at all because it does, like I said, develops an air leak, and I don't want to ruin the piston cylinder. But anyways, that's really it. I just want to talk with you about these. And I don't have any shame in it. These junk Poulans, they're junk. They're junk. That's what they're intended for. You know, they're intended to be for that person that says, I'm not spending $400 on a chainsaw. $150? Yeah, okay. And then I'll just use it to cut up that branch that fell off the tree and it's now in my driveway. That's what they're for, right? So don't get so upset. Just look at the good side and go, at least my brand is still alive. And again, it does seem like, you know, this is I told somebody on the forum not long ago, back in the 60s, everybody was talking about these junk motorcycles from Japan. They're trash, they're junk, they're never going to last. People are only buying them because they're cheap. That was the consensus throughout the 60s for sure, and into the 70s somewhat as well. Now, the Japanese motorcycle, some of the best motorcycles on the planet. So, Chinese built chainsaws, whether you like it or you don't, is probably going to be our future. The good thing to look at, though, is they will get better. They have been getting better. The quality, like this right here probably was, I don't know, like 1998, 2004, something like that. The quality back then is not the quality now. And there are definitely manufacturers in China that are capable of making a good product. So, with that being said, thanks again for watching. Please subscribe. I need 1,000 subscribers. So, hit the button. If you don't want to watch my videos every time, don't watch them. That's fine. But if you subscribe, you're helping a channel grow, and I got cool things planned for the future. Take care.